Right, so the approach to the first teddy bear and the second teddy bear is very similar. If you remember, what we did was we worked on the lighter areas first, and we put a bit of a background colour down before we started to put on the different tones and the hair and the more detailed parts of it. Now, in terms of these two teddy bears, we have this one is a little bit browner, a little bit more creamy in comparison with the lots of whites and greys in the larger teddy bear. So we need to think about trying to mix up that base colour. So if we pull the paper, so we can hold it next to it first of all, get our scrap paper. So take a little bit of brown, just to have a look at it. Might add a little bit of yellow on it, see what it looks like. You can see I'm mixing, because it's quite a light tone, I'm mixing some of the colours directly on the paper. If we just check it, maybe a bit of white in there. So that's not too bad, especially if I add a little bit of water to it. So put the base colour down. Doesn't matter if I go over the eyes and the nose, because of course they are going to be darker, so they'll quite easily go over the top of this colour. Hence the importance of painting the lightest colour first. And when you look around here, it's getting darker there, so I'm going to add a little bit more tone to the darker areas. So start to build up a colour on the bottom of the chin and on this bottom part of the ear. Remember what we said about blending in. Either a bit of tissue paper or between your fingers, and try to gradually blend it in. Bit more water, clean the brush again. Gradually blend it in. Now, when I look here, it actually looks a little bit darker. So again, I'm going to put a bit darker paint there. Blend it in. There's a bit of paint on my brush, so I want to clean that off. It's a bit darker there too. Again, clean my brush and start to gradually blend it in. That gives me my base colour. Next, of course, I need to mix up a colour whereby I start to put these much shorter brush strokes in. If you look at these, we worked much looser in wet paint, and then we put some finer lines on the top. This one isn't finished, so we do need to do the same approach there. So if we mix a bit of brown, maybe a bit of yellow and white again darker, let's just check. That's going to show up on there. So let's start looking at this, and I'm thinking this brush is a little bit big, so let's change brushes. Now you can see some of the colours blending in a little bit. I'm going to leave that dry before I do a bit more. And now we get into the stage that there's plenty of detail to build up. We've put in the nose and the eyes, a bit darker under there. The more brush strokes, the more textured and hair-like the fabric will look, and effectively the higher the mark you've got. Don't know how many I've done, but I would think so far I've done at least 300. Maybe even slightly more. Keeping looking, keeping working up the detail, and I still haven't finished these areas. You can see also I filled in this area of the scarf, so again I mixed a slightly lighter colour for the background, and then when that's dry, you can see these 3 stripes. So I put my 3 stripes down it. And then these little lines of detail. Bit darker where it goes under there for the shadow, and it's going to be the same approach for the rest of it. Slightly darker here, but again the background color and tone is going to be the same.